Have you ever wondered what truly captivates mature women? It's not just about charm or saying the right words. It's so much more about knowing where and how to create a genuine connection. This is where most men go wrong, thinking that grand gestures are the key, when in reality, it's the subtle details that leave the deepest impressions. Want to know the most fascinating part? Many of these places aren't physical, but emotional, each carrying a meaning that can completely transform how you connect. The controversy here is simple. Why do so many people overlook the power of intentional touch? They ignore something so fundamental that, when mastered, can completely change the game. The reward? More confidence, more intimacy, more consistency. In this video, I'll reveal the 7 most coveted places for mature women, places that activate an authentic and meaningful connection. And you know what's even better? You don't need to be an expert to apply this. Let's dive deep, no cliches, just real insights that will change your perspective. So, tell me, did you like the introduction, or would you like to tweak something? Be honest. How many times have you thought emotional connection was just about sweet words or intense gazes? Well, here's the secret. It's not. Connecting emotionally with someone, especially with mature women, requires subtle gestures full of respect and purpose. Imagine being in a conversation where you not only listen, but genuinely feel what the other person is sharing. This is the starting point for building emotional intimacy, a space where self-control and maturity are just as important as knowing how to truly listen. For instance, when preparing dinner, instead of focusing solely on the food, think about the details that show thoughtfulness. Her favorite music playing softly in the background, a wine that brings a smile to her face, or even something as simple as adjusting the chair for her to sit. These small gestures say, "I care about you," in a way that transcends the physical. Respect and consistency are the foundations of this connection, creating a trust that's hard to shake. Have you noticed how actions speak louder than words? A genuine compliment followed by a simple act like offering your coat on a chilly evening can transform a mundane moment into something unforgettable. It's not about impressing, it's about demonstrating self-awareness and attention to details that truly matter to her. But here's a word of caution. The line between showing affection and invading personal space is delicate. Respecting boundaries is crucial for emotional bonds to grow healthily. This means not only hearing her when she says no, but also recognizing the silent cues that signal her needs and desires. A practical example, let's say she mentions a hobby she loves, like gardening. Imagine showing up with seeds for the flowers she casually mentioned in your last conversation. This kind of gesture shows a level of attention that's both mysterious and deeply captivating. It demonstrates that you're paying attention in a way most people don't. And the most interesting part? This type of connection creates an energy that naturally draws more physical closeness. But don't be mistaken, the order matters here. When emotional intimacy is solid, it opens the door to the next level of connection, one that's far from superficial. And that brings us to the next point, where small touches take on a profoundly meaningful role. There's something almost magical about a gentle touch on the lower back. It's not just about physical contact, but about conveying a sense of security and purpose. When done right, this simple gesture can communicate, "I'm here with you," solid and respectful. Imagine a walk outdoors where a light touch on the back not only guides but reinforces the idea of mutual support. It's deeper than it appears at first glance. A practical scenario: during a conversation, while crossing a busy street or entering a restaurant, placing a hand gently on the back can convey care without saying a word. This kind of gesture demonstrates maturity and control over your actions, something that often gets noticed, even if it's not openly acknowledged. However, take note, the key lies in the tone and subtlety of the gesture. A touch should be light, never invasive, and always within the boundaries of the other person. This reinforces the idea that you are someone consistent and trustworthy, and what better way to strengthen a connection than by showing respect and self-control in every interaction. Interestingly, the lower back is associated with balance and support. By lightly touching this area, you subconsciously reinforce the idea that you're there to support her, both physically and emotionally. It's almost like saying you don't have to carry everything on your own. Simple, yet powerful. If you're in a more relaxed setting, such as during a dance or while positioning for a photo, this gesture can add a touch of closeness that is subtle but meaningful. It shows that you are present with intention, unhurried and attentive. And here's the fascinating part. These small gestures, seemingly trivial, often pave the way for deeper forms of connection. When done respectfully, they create an invisible bond that makes the other person feel seen, valued and protected. It's precisely on this delicate line between the physical and emotional that we arrive at another sensitive area, the nape of the neck. The nape of the neck. What a unique and deeply meaningful place. Touching this area gently may seem like a small gesture, but it carries a blend of vulnerability and trust. After all, allowing someone to touch this spot signifies a significant level of respect and intimacy. It's almost a symbol of emotional maturity, where both individuals acknowledge boundaries and the importance of self-control in every interaction. Picture a simple moment. You're helping adjust a necklace or tucking back a stray lock of hair. In that instance, a light touch on the nape becomes an opportunity to show affection delicately without crossing any lines. It's a gesture that combines admiration with mystery, communicating feelings that words often fail to express. But be cautious, as the nape is a territory rich with meaning. It's not about the frequency or intensity of the touch, but the consistency with which it is used. A casual touch during a hug or while leaning in to whisper something can be more impactful than any grandiose demonstration. It's a subtle reminder that respect is the foundation of any meaningful connection. Have you ever noticed how small touches can shift the tone of a moment? A gentle touch on the nape awakens something almost instinctive, a mix of closeness and protection. It's like saying, I see your vulnerability and I honor it. This kind of delicacy creates a bond that is uniquely powerful. If you're sharing a light-hearted moment, such as laughter or something more casual, like adjusting the hood of her coat or brushing away a strand of hair, it's a perfect opportunity to build intimacy naturally without forcing anything. The key here is to act effortlessly, ensuring the gesture is about her and not about you. And you know what's amazing? Once you understand the power of these small details, you start to realize how every touch can open doors to greater trust and connection. From the nape, it's only natural to move to another equally meaningful point: the hands. Hands are like bridges between hearts, capable of expressing what words cannot. A delicate touch, interlacing fingers, or simply holding someone's hand can communicate, I'm truly here with you. Holding hands with genuine intention conveys respect and purpose, showing that you are fully present in the moment without distractions or haste. Imagine walking side by side through a park. By holding her hand, you not only strengthen the connection, but also create a space where safety and affection coexist. It's as if you're saying, I value who you are. A simple gesture, yet one that speaks volumes about maturity and attention to the details that truly matter. There's also something profoundly intimate in gently caressing hands during a conversation. It doesn't have to be constant or calculated, but an occasional touch can amplify the sense of care. For instance, noticing a bracelet or ring she's wearing and commenting on it while lightly touching her hand creates an experience that feels both respectful and intriguing. It's important to remember that hands tell stories too. A respectful touch shows that you acknowledge these stories without intruding on them. Holding someone's hand during a challenging or emotional moment is like saying, "I see you and value what you're feeling." Knowing when and how to balance the time and intensity of this gesture is essential for it to remain authentic. And there's something even more beautiful about offering your hand without expecting anything in return. Helping her step down from a ledge or cross a slippery surface, for example, shows not just practical attentiveness, but a kind of consistency that builds trust. These small acts form the foundation of a healthy connection. Here's the secret. When hands meet, it's as if two souls have a chance to connect for a fleeting moment. From this connection arises an incredible opportunity to explore the next point, the waist, where closeness takes on an entirely new dimension. The waist is a region that symbolizes closeness and trust. When touched respectfully, it conveys a message of care and protection. Picture a casual moment, like walking side by side and lightly placing your hand on her waist to guide her through a crowded area. This simple yet intentional gesture communicates maturity and self-control, showing that you understand boundaries and know how to honor them. During a dance, for instance, a touch on the waist can take on even greater significance. It's not about control, but about harmony. Each movement reflects a balance between leading and following, creating a moment of pure connection. It's as if you're saying, "I'm here, and I want you to feel comfortable and safe." The waist is also a point of support that demonstrates consistency in everyday situations. Imagine a relaxed afternoon crossing a busy street where a gentle touch on her waist is enough to show that you're mindful of her well-being. Small gestures like these reveal intentionality in your actions and reinforce the idea of genuine care. However, caution is key as the waist demands sensitivity. An invasive touch can easily come across as disrespectful. This is why your gestures should always be subtle and preceded by clear signs that she feels comfortable. This level of respect strengthens the bond and avoids any discomfort. There's something particularly charming about a touch on the waist during unexpected moments, like passing through a narrow space or bending down to adjust something. These instances, when paired with lightheartedness and humor, can create lasting memories. It's the kind of gesture that combines respect, mystery, and a hint of intimacy. As you develop this sensitivity in your interactions, you'll realize that the waist is just one of many ways to express affection. And speaking of subtle yet meaningful touches, the next point brings us to an elegant and deeply significant gesture: the touch on the wrist. The wrist, a region that embodies elegance and sensuality often overlooked. A light touch or a subtle kiss on this area can convey genuine interest in a delicate, understated way. The wrist is a strategic choice, intimate yet non-invasive, allowing you to demonstrate respect and self-control with a single gesture. Imagine sitting at a cafe, engrossed in a conversation about something she's passionate about. During a relaxed moment, you gently touch her wrist to emphasize a point or draw her attention to something meaningful. This seemingly small gesture holds the power to create an instant, mysterious connection. It's a way of saying, "I'm attentive to you and what matters to you." Another scenario? Offer to clasp a bracelet or adjust a loose watch on her wrist. This simple act of care can create a moment of closeness that transcends the physical, showing consistency and attention to the little details that make a difference. When your actions are intentional, they resonate on a deeper level. The wrist is also a point where vulnerability meets trust. A gentle touch during a significant moment, such as when emphasizing something she's shared, shows that you value emotional intimacy as much as physical connection. It's a balance that often goes unnoticed, but has a profound impact. However, subtlety is key here. Any exaggerated or repetitive gesture can turn something elegant into something awkward. The goal is to create a space where trust can grow naturally, respecting her boundaries and the rhythm of the interaction. Ultimately, the wrist is like a silent invitation to explore other forms of connection with respect and lightness. It encapsulates the essence of an intentional gesture imbued with mystery and affection. Once you master these small touches, you'll find they open doors to even deeper connections, leaving the rest of the journey filled with exciting possibilities. Now that you've discovered these 7 coveted spots, the real question is, how will you put this knowledge into action? Absorbing it all means nothing if you don't act. Think about the connections you want to build. Are you respecting boundaries, demonstrating self-control, cultivating consistency and purpose in your actions? Maturity comes from finding balance between what you feel and how you express it. So, why not start now? Which of these gestures do you think will transform the way you connect? Share your experiences in the comments. Your story might inspire others to create deeper, more respectful relationships. And if you're ready to learn more about building authentic and meaningful connections, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This is just the beginning of a journey that goes far beyond the surface.